All right, so let's start Chapter 6, Citizenship and the Constitution. The really great thing about this chapter and the neat thing about it is that it's not history. It's real life. This is how our government works today in 2016. And our government is always changing and evolving, but this is how it works today and under the framework of the historical document of the Constitution. Understanding the Constitution. At the heart of our Constitution, which is our framework for our government, is the idea of a federal system of government. The idea, which is also known as federalism. And it's that power should be shared and divided between the national government, also known as the federal government, and the state government, which are in your individual states. And then the states can even give power down to the local government, which does local issues and handles local administration and things like that. Federal government means national government. So by sharing the power between the three different layers of government, prevents any one layer from becoming too strong and abusing the people. Powers that are given to the national government are expressly given to the national government by the Constitution itself, the actual document. Now, there's different ways to interpret that, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But what the national or federal government can do, which is based in Washington, D.C., with the Capitol building, the White House, the Supreme Court, and there's tons of administrative buildings around that, is given by the Constitution. Those are called delegated powers because they're delegated to the national government by the Constitution. Delegated power. All other powers are reserved for the state. So anything not given specifically to the national government by the Constitution, delegated to the national government by the Constitution, is a reserved power reserved for the states and for the people. And so everything else is supposed to be powered by the states and freedoms that the states and the people have to choose for themselves. This way, the national government's power is limited. However, over time, it seems like the national government has gained more and more power, and the states have less power. Some people are in favor of that. Some people are against it. That's probably a debate for another time. Some powers are shared. As you look, the national powers, like the national government, maintains the military. They do war. They have the postal system. They set what are weights and measures, our standards for that. We're going to use pounds, centimeters, meters, miles, those type of things. They protect inventions, things that are shared, both state and national government, maybe to some people's chagrin, collect taxes. They both have courts. They regulate interstate commerce. They regulate the banks. They borrow money. They punish criminals, and they provide for the general good. The states do the local governments. They do most of the school type things. They regulate local commerce. They set marriage license and state license and business licenses and control local commerce. As you can see, in the history of American government, in the early time under the British monarchy, the king had almost all the power. And then under the Articles of Confederation, the individual states had almost all the power. And today, and ever since the Constitution was created, the different branches of government have most of the different powers, but they're divided between the three branches, the executive, legislative, and judicial. So we'll get more into the legislative, judicial, and executive branches tomorrow, but this is a good overview and a good start to understanding how the Constitution sets up our government.